Hello, and welcome to Polyglot Principles. My name is Modja, and I'm a hyper-polyglot who speaks 8 languages. I speak 4 of those at an advanced level, and this is the channel where I help ambitious language learners go from intermediate to advanced in their target language by giving them a very deep and detailed understanding of the principles of language learning. Alright, I've been running a bit, at least running up the stairs. Yeah, so basically, if you're somebody who meets these 3 criterion, which means you're an ambitious language learner, that means you're not happy with being average, you want to become fluent at your target language, and if you're also someone who's at the... Someone's whistling, okay. Alright, and you're currently, so if you're an ambitious guy who's currently at the intermediate level, and you want to become more advanced, so this is also one of the characteristics that members of this channel have. And the third thing is that, yeah, sorry guys, there's a lot of noise here. I don't know what that is. One moment. Yeah. Okay, I think that must be the neighbor's kids. Disturbant kids. So, we're talking about the qualities that members of this channel satisfy. 1, they're ambitious. That's very important. They're currently at the intermediate to advanced level. And the third quality that's really important is... Yeah, the noise is back again. So, ambition, very important. You're at the intermediate to advanced level. And the other really important factor is that you're not happy with just having a shallow understanding. You like to have a deep understanding of how language learning works. Okay, one moment. Alright. So if you satisfy all those 3 qualities, this is really the channel for you. This is what the people I'm here to serve. Ambitious people who are at an intermediate to advanced level, and people who like to have a very deep and detailed understanding of how to learn a language. Now, as I mentioned in my most recent video, the structure of the channel has changed a bit. So, actually, a bit dramatically. I'm still focused on helping you become fluent in your target language, but we're going to divide it into 2 parts. On Mondays, except for this Monday, but on Mondays, I'll be typically publishing a video where I go in depth on some aspect of language learning, some principle of language learning. Because as I mentioned before, life operates by principles. So, if you wanted to cook a meal, there are principles for cooking, let's say, a cake. There are principles for baking a particular cake. If you obey those principles, you'll get the cake. If you disobey those principles, you'll never get the cake. There are also principles of language learning. If you obey the principles of language learning, you'll become fluent. If you disobey those principles, you will not become fluent. It's that simple. So, the focus of this channel is on teaching you the principles of language learning. So I publish videos on Monday that teach you the principles of language learning. And then on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll publish another video. And this video will be a mindset video. To succeed in language learning, you need 2 things. To know the principles of language learning, you also need the right mindset. Unfortunately, if you do not have the right mindset, you will fail at language learning and everything else. This is key. Your mindset actually controls your results. If you have the proper mindset, you'll succeed at anything. You'll figure out whatever needs to be figured out in order to learn. So I'm actually doing you a disservice if I only teach you the principles of language learning, but I don't teach you the mindset. So this is why I decided to split things this way. An in-depth video where we go deep into the principles of language and a mindset video. So today we are going to be doing a mindset video. So this week is a bit weird. On Monday, I'm going to publish a mindset video, and then on Thursday, I'll publish a mindset video. After that, we'll go back to our the way we normally operate. Monday, in-depth video. Thursday, mindset video. Alright, so with regards to mindset, we're going to be using a textbook to help us. The textbook is called Think and Grow Rich. It teaches you, the book was written by a guy called Napoleon Hill, and it teaches you how to think in order to succeed. The book is focused on making money, but the mindset needed to make a lot of money is the same mindset needed to succeed at anything. In particular, it's the same mindset you need in order to succeed at language learning. So that's what we're going to be Geez, sound is back. What is that sound? Okay, so the mindset you need to succeed in language learning is the same mindset you need to succeed in everything else. And we're going to be using a book called Think and Grow Rich. So Think and Grow Rich was a book written by a guy called Napoleon Hill. And basically he was hired by a guy called Andrew Carnegie. So Andrew Carnegie at the time, this may be 1800s or early 1900s, Andrew Carnegie was the richest man in America, and I think the richest man on the planet. So Andrew Carnegie hired Napoleon Hill, the author of this book, Think and Grow Rich. He hired him to write down, to systematically document the principles of success, to get the principles of success and turn them into a system. Well, what's the difference between a system and just, let's say, principles? Typically, if you ask successful language learners or any kind of successful person, they'll give you one idea or another, but they rarely give you a system. A system is a series of steps, which, if you follow them, guarantee a particular result. For example, we have the education system. If you follow the steps of the education system, you go through the first year of high school, second year of high school, third year of high school, fourth year of high school. If you follow the steps, eventually you'll graduate from high school. If you follow the steps in university, eventually you'll be given a degree. That's a system. That's the education system. So Napoleon Hill was one of the first people to create a success system. In particular, financial success system, money system, which means here are 13 steps. If you follow these steps, you're guaranteed to be rich. And that's the system he created. Now, it's a very powerful system. It's said that this particular system of Napoleon's created millions of millionaires. So the methods definitely work. And these 13 steps, principles to follow, also will help you become fluent in a language. So we're going to be studying these principles. My plan before was to read the book out and explain everything, that's every sentence, but unfortunately, yeah, there's some copyright laws. You know, I don't want to get in trouble later for copyright issues. So instead, I'll be going section by section and explaining the ideas. So, I mean, I think you could just get a copy of Think and Grow Rich if that's necessary, and let's dig into this. So the first chapter is it's called Desire. The chapter is titled Desire, and that's called the starting point of all achievement. So as we said before, there are 13 steps to success, as explained by Napoleon Hill. So chapter 2 is the first step, and it's being called Desire. So that's the first thing. He's saying desire is the starting point of all achievement. And this is kind of strange, because typically we think that the starting point of achievement, let's say in language learning on anything, is maybe good genes, having the right parents, having a lot of money, having gone to the right school, having been born in the right neighborhood. We usually think this is the starting point of achievement. So people who succeed in life, let's say people who are rich, or people, for example, let's just use riches for now, and then we'll go into language learning. For example, we tend to believe that people who are rich because they had rich parents, they went to the right schools, they had the right connections, and so on. So the beginning, the source of their riches, the starting point of their riches was these good connections and having good genetics and being really smart and having studied at Harvard Business School or whatever. And with regard to language learning, we typically think the starting point of success in language learning is maybe having good genes, having a good memory, being young. If you're young, then you can learn. If you're old, you can't learn, and so on. We have all sorts of ideas of what the starting point of achievement and success is. But Napoleon Hill is saying something weird. To succeed, you don't need to be intelligent. You don't have to have the right genetics. Right? This is not the source of success. You don't have to be the most intelligent. You don't have to have attended the right school. You don't need to have a history of being fluent in languages. The first thing you need to succeed, the first step, is desire. You need to want to succeed. That's the beginning. You need to have a desire for something specific. something he calls a burning desire. So if it's wealth, then if it's money, I'm like, I need a specific amount. The first step towards becoming rich, according to Napoleon Hill, is, first of all, you have to desire money and have a specific amount. The starting point to becoming fluent in a language is the desire to become fluent, a specific desire. For example, I've been studying German for about a year now, a little over a year now, and before I began studying German, I had a desire. I had a desire to become fluent. I had a desire to make speeches effortlessly. I had a desire to be able to read text in German. A desire to be able to attend university lectures in German. That desire was what began the process of me turning this idea of becoming fluent into a reality. So the first step is desire. And let's proceed here. So in particular, Napoleon Hill talks about having a burning desire. What's the difference between a burning desire and a desire is the question. So a burning desire, like imagine this, imagine someone whose head is on fire. Their head is literally burning on fire. This person has a burning desire to put out the fire. And they will do whatever it takes, anything it takes. They'll sell their own soul if they have to in order to put out the fire. And notice that for a person whose head is burning, nothing else matters other than putting out that fire. The person doesn't care about philosophy. The person doesn't care about beauty. The person doesn't care about sex. All they want is put out this goddamn fire. Put out the fire. That's all I care about. And this is being mentioned as a prerequisite for success. I mean, you want something so much, the desire is so burning, that nothing else other than success is acceptable. This is a key quality to succeed in any endeavor, in particular in language learning. If you want to become fluent at a language, whatever your target language is, you need to think in a certain way. One of the first things you need to do is you need to have a burning desire to learn the language. A burning desire to become fluent in the language. What does that mean? It means you shouldn't accept anything other than becoming fluent, achieving your goal, whatever it is. If it's with regards to learning a language, maybe you become specific. I want to be able to make a 1-hour speech in Spanish. Let's say that's your goal in the language. Well, if you have a burning desire, that means you'll not accept anything else. If you said you're going to make a 1-hour speech, a 50-minute speech will not satisfy you. Any activity that is not helping you to make, any activity that is not helping you to achieve your goal, you're going to cut them out. Nothing else is acceptable. Nothing else is good enough other than success. Another way to look at it is to say that you're obsessed. You're obsessed with success. Now, one thing you're going to notice is that this book is teaching you how to succeed. How to succeed financially, how to succeed in any endeavor. Now, most people are not successful. Most people are poor or middle class. Most people who learn languages never succeed. So most people who learn, we're not talking about as kids, of course, every kid successful at language learning, but we're talking about learning a second language as an adult especially, or after your childhood years. Most people never succeed. Most people are failures when it comes to learning a language. So the reason they're failures is because of how they think. How do I know this, apart from Napoleon Hill? Well, when I was in school, I struggled with languages. There are certain languages I never mastered. Like Swahili. I struggled with Swahili, and I thought I wasn't really that good at learning new languages. And then now I'm a really efficient learner. I was able to go from beginner to fluent in German, from knowing nothing, not being able even to say my name in German, to being able to become fluent in it within 1 year. And I was able to become fluent in Spanish within 3 months. How come? How is it that I, who used to suck at languages, suddenly became very good? What changed? My way of thinking changed. I think in a particular way. That's why I get these results. And one of the key things when it comes to success in language learning and anything you're trying to do is you need to be obsessed. The society, which is made up of people who are average and below average, people who are poor and people who always fail at languages, has the wrong way of thinking about languages, wealth, and success. This is why there are very few successful people in any endeavor. So a lot of the things you're going to learn in this mindset series is going to be the exact opposite. The exact opposite of what you were taught, what the society tells you. For example, in society we are taught that you need to be balanced. You need to be balanced. Don't be obsessed. You need to think about work-life balance, for example. They'll tell you. Let's say, if you set a goal, strive to achieve it, but it's also, if it doesn't work out, that's acceptable. It's okay. It's always important to have a plan B and so on. All these are ideas that are contrary to obsession. But to succeed, the people who do succeed are obsessed. They want something so bad that they have to get it. Nothing else is satisfying other than getting it. They are obsessed. When they sleep, they think about it. When they wake up, they think about it. During the entire day, they think about it. They will go to extreme levels to get what they want. They will do whatever it takes to succeed. This is primary, very important when it comes to succeeding in any endeavor. In particular, when it comes to language learning. So this is the key idea about a burning desire, having an obsession with whatever you're trying to do. Okay, well, but there are certain aspects of a burning desire that are important. A burning desire has to be specific. Let's go back to my example of the guy whose head is on fire. Such a person has a specific desire, and that is to put the fire out. That's specific. However, it's very hard to, a burning desire, if something is not specific, it's not a burning desire. For example, if you tell me, hey, I tell you, what's your goal in language learning? You tell me, I want to be fluent. Fluent is not specific. It's very vague to the point where it's very difficult for your mind to figure out what fluent means. It's the equivalent of someone saying, what's your goal? It tells you, I want to be rich. Well, I want to have a lot of money. But how much is a lot of money? That's not specific. Remember, you cannot hit a target. You cannot hit a target if you don't even know about it. You'll always miss a target that you don't know, unless you could only succeed by chance. This is the same with, if it comes to finances, the amount has to be specific. My desire is not just to be rich. My desire is to make $1 million, and I want to make it January 1st, 2022, and so on. You have to be specific. It's the same with language learning. Don't just say, I want to be fluent. That's totally meaningless. What does fluent mean? What will you be able to do once you succeed that you can't do now? A much better idea is to say maybe, okay, I think the sound was coming from a bird. Okay, just a moment. Alright, so when it comes to language learning, it's important to have more specific goals. For example, I want to be able to make a 1-hour speech in the language. I want to be able to attend a lecture in the language with no difficulty. I want to be able to read this book without having to refer to the dictionary. I want to be able to have flowing conversations with people without any difficulty, and so on. Now, you see, you need to be specific about what you want, because if you're not specific, you'll never get it. This is very, very important. How are you going to be obsessed with something that's not clear? See, when they tell you that someone is obsessed, they're obsessed about something, there's this illness they call obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, I think, or something like this. So usually the people are called obsessive because they're obsessed about something specific. Maybe the person is obsessed with washing their hands. They're obsessed with cleanliness. Or someone is obsessed with the number 2. They can't help but see the number 2 everywhere. Number 2, number 2, number 2. That's why they call it an obsession. One of the characteristics of an obsession is that it's specific. If you say, hey, he's obsessed with women, see, it's clear what the obsession is, women. Not dogs, not cats, women. Or he's obsessed with blonde women. Now, it's obsession needs specificity. So a burning desire has to be specific. You can't just be vague. This is strange. It's really shocking, but most people, just try out this exercise. Just when you meet people around you, ask them the question, what do you really want? Most people have no idea what they want. Actually, I think Earl Nightingale, made, I think that was his name, Earl Nightingale. He made a certain, check it out on YouTube. It's a video called, I think, The Strangest Secret. It's a 30-minute video called The Strangest Secret in the World. And inside of that audio, okay, still a bird here. Okay, so inside of that audio, he said that 100 people were asked the question, why do you wake up in the morning? And he said, I think 99 of them or something like this had no idea. I don't remember what the number is. But most people have no idea why they wake up in the morning. They have no idea what they want. They just have vague notions like, I want to be happy. I want to make the world a better place. I want to be fluent. This is totally useless stuff. If it's not specific, you're really not going to be able to achieve it. Okay. So that's very important. And there is a story in here. Maybe I'll tell the story. So the story is of Edwin C. Barnes. Edwin C. Barnes was some guy. And this was a time when Thomas Edison, the great inventor, was alive. I think Thomas Edison, according to history, invented the light bulb and was a genius inventor. So Edwin C. Barnes had the desire, burning desire, to become the business partner of Edison. Notice how specific this is. He wanted to be the business partner of Edison. He didn't want to be his assistant. He didn't want to get a job. He wanted to be the business partner of Edison. He didn't want to be his employee. He wanted to be the business partner of Thomas A. Edison. This is a specific objective. And at the time he had this idea, when he was thinking about it, Thomas Edison lived in a different city. And so Edwin C. Barnes lived in a different city from Edison, and he needed to get to Edison to tell him that, hey, I want to be your partner. I want to be your business partner. The problem is he didn't have any money to pay for the train that would take him to the city where Edison was. Now, Napoleon mentions that many people under such conditions would have given up. Okay, yes, I want to be his partner, but I don't have the fare. I don't have the fare that will take me to, I don't have enough money to pay for the train. So obviously, I guess I can't go. I better give up. I better do something else. Most people would reason this way. But you see, if something is a burning desire, if something is an obsession, well, you don't quit on an obsession. That's why it's called an obsession. If you're really obsessed with becoming fluent in a language, you're not going to quit when you face obstacles. You're not going to quit because you don't have resources, because you don't have a coach, because you tried and failed. People who quit are people who don't have a burning desire for something. If you have a burning desire, if you really want something, you always find a way, no matter what. You always find a way. And Edwin C. Barnes really wanted to be, he had a burning desire, an obsession with being Thomas Edison's partner. So he found a way to go meet Edison, even though he didn't have the fare. I think he jumped at the back of the train as cargo. He jumped on a cargo train, and he made his way to Thomas Edison. And when he went to Thomas A. Edison, he announced to Edison, he announced that he was here to be in business. He was here to be a partner of Thomas Edison. Now the thing was, Barnes was obviously a poor guy. He didn't have much. But Edison gave him some work to do in the company. And Edison did that because, I'll actually maybe read Edison's own work. Oh, okay, those are in another part. Okay, anyways, Edison gave him a position in the company because, I'm just paraphrasing, he knew that anybody who knows exactly what he wants and is dedicated towards getting that and nothing else. He had known through experience, that's Edison, that people who are like that always succeed. They must get what they want. And he looked at Barnes, who was poor, didn't look like somebody who had much, but he was determined to succeed. He was determined to be Edison's partner. And so Edison looked at him and said, you know what, he gave him a position. And he gave him a position not because of his appearance, because he was poor. He gave him the job, a position in the company, because he could see that the man's thinking was different. It was the way he thought, the way he spoke. He was determined. Determination is a way of thinking. Having a burning desire is a way of thinking. The way he thought made him stand out to Edison despite how he looked. Somebody could look disheveled, somebody could look stupid, your history might be against you, but the way you think is the most important thing, because your thoughts create your reality. So maybe you have never been, maybe up until this point, you've tried to learn many languages and quit. Maybe you've never been good at languages, you've never been good at writing. You've never really succeeded at anything before. Maybe you're like that. But see, your history doesn't matter. How you look doesn't matter. Your current conditions don't matter. The first step, one of the most important things, is knowing what you want and having a burning desire to get it. Being determined to get it no matter what. And that's what gave Barnes this position. And for many years, according to the story, Barnes was given a position by Edison, but he wasn't his business partner. Remember, his goal was to become the business partner. He didn't come to be an employee of Edison's. So he worked at Edison's office. According to the story, I think he spent about 5 years, and on the outside, it looked like he was just a menial employee of Edison. But Barnes was thinking differently. In Barnes' mind, he was already the partner of Thomas A. Edison. I mean, people who looked at him would think, hey, this guy is just doing manual work. He's just he's one of many employees of Edison's. But in Barnes' own mind, he was Edison's partner the entire time. He saw himself as Edison's partner before anybody else could see him. Everybody else saw him differently, but he saw himself as Edison's partner. That's very important. This is a very important skill to have. This is an important mindset. You see, people, the average person, people in society live by what they're kind of slaves to their current circumstances or history. They live according to their sight and history. For example, when you went to school and you got a bad grade, usually the teacher might conclude, okay, you're not an intelligent student, or maybe you got 50% on a test. The conclusion was you're an average student, and somebody else got 100% on the test. The conclusion was they are a smart student. Maybe you try learning a language and you fail, so you conclude I'm not good at languages. This is called living according to, you're letting your circumstances dictate who you are and what is possible. This is how the average person lives. But just listen to any interview of successful people and people, language learners, excellent polyglots, you'll notice that all of them do not live based on their current circumstances. They don't let their current results dictate what is possible for them. For example, right now I speak German fluently. Last year, October, I couldn't even say Ich bin Modja. I couldn't say my name is Modja in German. Now I speak it fluently. I'm able to read, I'm able to write in the language, I'm able to listen to podcasts on success in German, all of that. See, the funny thing is, last year, October, before I could even say my name is Modja, Ich bin Modja in German, before I could even say that, I already saw myself. I already knew that it was a matter of time before I become fluent in German. I could already see myself speaking with ease, having conversations, reading texts. I was not living based on my eyesight. My reality was I can't make even one sentence. That was the reality. Those were my circumstances. But in my mind, I was already fluent. In my mind, I could already have a fluent conversation in German. In my mind, I was already attending lectures where the professor was teaching in German. It's this imagination, this capacity to see things that are not there right now that enables you to create those things. Barnes was a poor guy. He did not know Edison personally. He did not have money to pay the train fare to get him to Edison. He went to Edison, and for 5 years he was working there. It seemed like there was no hope. It looked like he would forever be a menial employee of Edison's. But in his mind, regardless of what he saw, Barnes saw himself already as the partner of Edison. Here is an employee, lowly employee, according to people, but he sees himself as a partner of Edison. And guess what? He eventually became Thomas Edison's partner. Eventually his opportunity came and he became Edison's partner. This is absolutely key. You're trying to learn a language. Well, you need to see yourself already successful at the language. You need to imagine in detail what it means. Imagine in detail what it means for you to become fluent. What does it mean? What are you able to do then that you can't do now? And you need to see yourself already performing at the level you want to perform at before you're performing at that level. In terms of money, it's most people think if my pocket is empty, if I have no money in my pocket, people think that it's kind of weird. Imagine somebody who has no money in his pocket, but in their own imagination, they have millions of dollars. Their pocket is actually overflowing with cash. So just think about it for a moment. Imagine that you're very poor. I don't know what your financial status is. Imagine that you're very poor and you don't have any money. And then you kept telling your friends that actually your pocket was overflowing with dollars. Like $100 bills are just too many in your pocket that they're overflowing out of it. Your friends would say you're totally crazy. What are you talking about? There's nothing in your pocket. But you see, this is why your friends are not successful. This is why they're failures. Because they're not able to look beyond their conditions. They're not able to see a full pocket, even though the pocket at the moment is empty. People who are not able to see themselves as fluent in a language because before they're actually fluent will never become fluent. So look, this is just a good beginning. I think we'll stop here for now, but we'll go into much greater detail. As I mentioned before, I make 2 videos. One is a mindset video. I publish that every Thursday, where I teach you the mindset of how you need to think in order to become fluent and successful at whatever you do. And then on Monday at 8 a.m. Central African time, I publish an in-depth video where I go really deep into some aspect of language learning. So this week I'm going to make 2 mindset videos. Today's one for Monday and tomorrow's for Thursday. And then after that we'll return to our normal schedule. One in-depth video on Monday and then one video, mindset video on Thursdays. Look, thank you very much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, do that now. Like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, ding, 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 ding. That way you'll be notified whenever I publish a new video. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to catch you on the next one. Bye.